your girl Tina Marie J. Welcome to my video. I'm Tina Marie J. I feel like it's been a while. It hasn't even been that long since I haven't shown my face, but so for today's video, I just want to talk a little bit about this Bible verse. I always want to talk a little bit about something. I always start my videos the same way. Oh, for this video, I want to talk a little bit about. Someone actually had mentioned this Bible verse to me. I think it was in my Beautiful Souls Facebook group, and it's 2 Timothy 4:3. The one where they're talking about itching ears. It's funny because when you leave the ICOC, the COC, the ICC, anything with all the C's, you realize how much crap you listen to, and then you kind of start to slowly forget some things, but then people remind you and you're like, oh snap, I remember they used to say that all the time. I think that for me, it's not so much that I've forgotten a lot of stuff. I think that sometimes, like, I have a type of personality where I will suppress things without realizing it as a way to help me move forward, and some things I do actually naturally forget because I have a horrible memory. But this person mentioned this Bible verse to me, which I'm about to read to you guys in a second, and it brought back a flood of memories, and I just felt that disgust, this grossness, this intense dislike, not for the people, not for the church, but just for that moment. And I remembered what it felt like when they used to say it to me. So I'm gonna read the Bible verse to you guys first, and then after that, then I'll talk a little bit about it, share my opinion, and you guys can share yours down in the comment section. 2 Timothy 4:3. For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. Let me adjust my camera real quick because my button gets cut off. I despise this specific verse, but for one reason. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but because when I was a part of the ICOC, this verse was beaten into me constantly. This is one of the Bible verses that I'm glad that I kind of forgot or suppressed or whatever, because it's one of the Bible verses that kept me there for 7 years. So there are many people who are still a part of the ICOC, which, if you don't know, it stands for International Churches of Christ. And in the ICOC, just because there are a lot of members doesn't mean that there are a lot of happy members. A lot of the times what happens is that these members stay a part of this church because they feel like they have to remain a part of the church, because they feel like this is almost like their duty. I cannot be in any church, this is the only one. Granted, yes, I do believe that there are people who genuinely feel happy in this church because they think they're doing the right thing by being a part of it. They think that they're in the right one. But you have to really be a part of this church in order to really understand how it goes, because it's a lot. It's a lot to get into. It's a lot to dissect, which is why I guess I have as many videos as I do. So when you are in any cult, there are trigger words, trigger phrases, and there are things that you'll be taught or things that you're told that will make you feel like you have to stay longer, make you feel like you have no choice, or make you feel like you are in the wrong if you do decide to leave. When I was in the ICOC, 2 Timothy 4:3 was a Bible verse that they used over and over and over and motherfreaking over again until my ears freaking bled. And the whole itching ears, hear what the itching ears want to hear, that part right there was a line that they use the most out of that whole little verse. And times when I would hear that line was times when I wanted to do my own thing, because I thought I am an individual, I'm an adult, I have a right to do my own thing. Anything that I did, I would hear this verse. So if I wanted to hang out with a person who was not a disciple, or a person who was not studying the Bible, who's just not in the church, a friend from the outside, and they wanted to go out, then my discipler would probably make a comment and this verse may just slip in there, and they'd say, well, you just are hearing what your itching ears want to hear. You believe this person is a good friend and someone you need to be around with, but that's just what your itching ears want to hear. You want to hear the thoughts that you're giving to yourself. Basically, they're saying that you have ears that are itching to hear lies, but are considered to you truths, and the church has the truth already, and the only things that your ears should be itching for is their truth. I know that there are people who see these videos and they're like, oh, she's bashing, she's just being bitter, she's just upset. Guys, I promise you, I am not bitter, I'm not upset, I'm not seeking revenge. But if you were to know me personally, you would know that I am someone who does not like to see people get screwed over. And so that's where these videos come from, because I help people unscrew themselves. It's a pretty screwy situation, damn it, the hell. When I was in the ICOC, they use this verse for almost everything, along with many other verses, which, by the way, if you guys can remember any verses that were similar to this one that was like overused in the ICOC, please make sure you put it down in the comment section so I can do a video where I speak on that as well. Or if you guys have any video requests or things you want me to talk about, then do tell me in the comment section below. Also, in the middle of this video, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up, because it does help me. It helps with the algorithm on YouTube, because, you know, YouTube is no longer exciting about cat videos anymore. Now everything is algorithm and views and this and all that crap. Just give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it and you give a thumbs down, it's whatever. And also, if you do like this channel, make sure you subscribe. So back to what I was saying. This verse was very overused. I hated it so bad, but I never vocalized that. I never said, oh, I hate this verse, because by me saying I hate this verse is saying, to them, it's saying I hate the word, or I have a dislike or a disdain for God and for Jesus and the Bible. They'll just take it totally out of context. The only reason I really hated this verse was just because of the fact that it was so overused, and I always felt like I was in the wrong. I always felt like no matter what I said, they had a verse to pull. Really, if you were in the ICOC, then you would know that that is pretty true. This could also ring true for those who are part of the ICC, which is the International Christian Church, which is similar but a break off of the International Churches of Christ. I know a lot of people that have left the church that cannot stand this verse anymore, and it can cause some kind of psychological trigger when you hear it. Honestly, reading it, it doesn't bother me so much anymore to read certain things from the Bible, but when I really think and reflect on it, it does bother me, because then I remember that like feeling, and at this point it's more of like a disgust. It's not a hurt, it's not a pain, it's not sadness. I'm beyond that. Now it is just, oh, this is disgusting. I don't like this. I don't like the way it's been used. Am I saying that churches should not read this verse, or that people who consider themselves to be Christians should not follow this verse? Not at all. I am not here to tell you that. I am not here to tell you what you should or should not read in the Bible or follow. I am just here to say that this verse is definitely overused, and this verse is one of the popular verses at fault for why so many people remain a part of this cult and are afraid to leave. So here's an example. Let's say you're watching this video and you are in the ICOC, but they don't want you to watch videos like this because this would be considered some way sinful or divisive. I'm a bad negative influence. I can spill my negativity onto you, which then will cause you to want to leave the church, and from there it just all goes south. This is how the people in that cult think. But you're watching this video because you've heard this verse so many times that it's gotten to the point where you're like, is it just me, or is this verse really kind of controlling me? Like, do I really feel like I can't even express myself? The thing with the ICOC that they won't ever tell you, and most people won't really even admit, is that The ICOC controls people by telling them what they don't want to hear, but saying, if you want to be one with God, and if you want to follow Christ, then you must follow these things, and you must do it this way, and you must be a part of this church, and you must follow this truth, and you must go out and get people baptized. They don't want you to know that these verses are constantly recycled, specifically as a way to brainwash you into thinking and believing that they are the one true Church of Christ, and that you should be a part of this church because they follow what they want to follow in the Bible, what is going to be convenient for them. It's going to make them look good and make them look better so they could continue to have people who get baptized. People listen to these kind of verses and read these kind of verses over and over to the point where even if they have a little ounce of doubt, they're afraid to follow that doubt. Now, that doubt that you may be experiencing, whatever it is while you're in this church, could possibly just be your intuition telling you this is not the right place, you need to leave, you can find another place. But you're so wrapped up in this church. You hang out with no one but the members of this church. You go to this church maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and you continually study the Bible even after you've already been baptized, only amongst this specific group of people in this church. So if you're surrounded by nothing but ICOC members and you're constantly hanging out with them, you will only date them, you'll only talk to them, then of course you're not going to want to leave, even when you do feel that ounce of doubt. Because you know what? You're always going to have those circle of friends who, by the way, if you leave, they're not going to be your friend anymore. More than likely, 99% of the time. You're hanging out with these people so much that you don't have room to think for yourself. They're always going to be there to remind you of this verse, to remind you that you're hearing what your itching ears want to hear. Tina Marie J is just tickling your ears and telling you what you want to hear so that you can fall for Satan's trap. And so you can leave the church and bring people down with you and go to hell with Tina Marie J, most likely. It just gets way too much. I 100% believe that there are churches out there, Christian churches out there, that will teach you the verses in the Bible, that will teach you good structure without the control part, without the part that gives you so much doubt, without the part that gives you so much guilt, so much shame. These are things that need to be eliminated. If you want to be in the church that is good for you, there shouldn't be any doubt, fear, or shame. I mean, doesn't the Bible say that that's kind of like something that you should not experience as a Christian because God is not of fear and doubt? That is something that I believe rings to be very true, even though I do not believe in the God of the Bible per se. I believe in a God, a creator, but I don't believe this one to be our God. I still do believe that whoever our higher power is, it's not someone to fear. Not enough to the point where you need to second guess your own personal thoughts and intuition, and you need to go against what your instincts are telling you and what your heart is telling you and remain a part of a church that's really only hurting you more in the end. Hearing what your itching ears want to hear is just their way of saying, don't listen to anyone, don't read this, don't watch that, listen to us, read this verse a million times over and over so it can get stuck into your head, so that you can believe all the bull crap we're feeding you and remain a part of our church, keep giving us your money and your time, and hey, why not bring some more people in? Hey Bill, hey Todd, hey Ted, Mary, come on, join. Sarah, oh yeah, we got all the people in the Bible. Matter of fact, let's just sit here and become members of this church and give our money and give our time and our loyalty, get so sucked in and brainwashed into believing that a lot of the stuff they teach is true. Now, you don't have to take it from me. If you want to remain a part of the ICOC, I am not here to judge. That is on you. However, just understand that they are going to use verses just like 2 Timothy 4:3 as a way to manipulate you and make you believe that they are the one true church and that there is anything wrong with questioning. When I would hear this verse, it was over anything. It literally, I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like if I wanted to read a book, or if if I watched a video and I was like, oh, that's kind of true, and it didn't even have to do anything in religion, they would tell me, you're hearing what your itching ears want you to hear. And I'll be like, no, this is what I believe. This is what I actually feel and think. And it's basically like all feelings and intuition, any kind of knowledge, anything at all that you know of has got to go out the door, out the window, because it is not going to fit in the ICOC life. So the next time that you do hear this verse, think about how this verse makes you feel, and think about exactly what it is that they're using this verse against you for. Why are they making you read this verse, or why are they repeating this verse to you? Why are they just banging it into your head? Really think about it. Don't take in all the bull crap they tell you, because that's the thing. I used to take in a lot of garbage because I believed it and I was naive, and they're very good at getting naive people who believe whatever they tell them. And I believe that I had to believe it. That's the crazy thing, is I believed that I had to believe it. So I fell for the crap. Anyway, that's really all I have on this. So I hope that maybe some of you can relate and it's helped you in any way or made you feel comforted in any way. If you are one of those people who searched up this channel because you're in this crazy church that seems a little bit like nutty and cultish, and you're questioning, yes, welcome to the channel. So if you did like this video and you want to see more like this, then make sure you do give me a nice thumbs up, because like I said before, it does help the algorithm. It helps other people see this channel. It brings other people to this channel so that they can be aware that this is out there on the internet. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, then do subscribe to the channel. I have my Beautiful Soul Facebook group. Make sure you go check that out. And I have 3 questions that I ask because it helps me filter people out. So make sure you do answer those 3 questions. I've had people that had to deny access just because I had a troll one time, and I'm not trying to have anyone ruin the good energy of that group. So join that group if you are a part of a cult or you've come out of a cult and you need someone, a group of people that can understand you and that you can help find healing with. Also, if you want to support my channel in other ways, I do have my PayPal and my Cash App down below. No obligations, of course, but that is down there for you, as well as my Teespring store. So you can also go check that out down below in the description box as well. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you in the next video.